In episode 275, we have second round of Sparklet Wars in Las Vegas. Lots of updates there. Mass Chef is back to talk racing and so much more. Stay tuned for all the other shenanigans.
The Upland Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host who's stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the Metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland Property Experts, baby, UPX.
Welcome to the Upland Property Experts Podcast. I'm your host, Too Stupid to Win, and as always, I'm joined by Thank Me Later. How we doing, brother?
What up? I'm doing good.
We're up in episode 275.
275. Man, that means, well, I guess we still have a while away for 300.
Yeah, we got half a year to go.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's only 25 weeks away. Never mind.
Almost at 300.
275. What a nice number, though.
It is. It is. But so it'll be after Genesis week. Yeah, we'll be looking at miss.
Well, now if you include the 31 of 31, though. I mean, does our 275 include like some of the other random shit?
Yeah. Well, no. It includes T. Davis and B. Dags episodes, but it doesn't include any of the other random stuff we've done.
Okay. All right. I mean, were valid spin-off episodes.
Yeah.
There's Block Explorers, so it must have meant something.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I had to use that quote in one of our tweets this week that I didn't realize I needed a tea bag to complete my collection. So it was just classic. Classic. But doing some of these 31s and 31s, they've brought up some stuff that I forgot about. It's just like, oh, wow.
They have been absolutely, you needed a tea bag. Exactly. They have been unbelievably fun to do. Tons of work. I mean, it's over 31 hours of just like prepping and recording, and that doesn't include all of the actual post work and posting and prepping and all of that and the scheduling, and it's a lot of work. So shout out to you for doing all that. I just show up. So yeah,
the kids are like, are you done doing interviews yet? I'm like, no, I'm not.
No, not yet. Getting there.
Still going on. Ka-Chow and
yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ka-Chow's Blurry Beast was released today.
Love that. Look, such a fun interview. Ka-Chow is, I mean, he's an OG of OGs and just an absolutely great person. Plus, he does map work. He did some of the first maps that we ever had from, relating to Upland, doing like the original collections in San Francisco and stuff. So, I mean, he goes way back, and he is just always an absolute, I mean, all of our guests have been a blast to talk with, but Ka-Chow holds a special place in my heart for sure. He's just a good character.
Did Ka-Chow do the treasure? Somebody placed all the treasures that were found, and it just was this cluster in the northeast, and it was stuck on my Google Maps for like ever, and I couldn't figure out, like, anytime I went over to San Francisco, there were all the treasures that were ever spawned. Like, I forget who put that map together, but they made it.
Yeah, I think we worked on that together for sure. Because I remember getting that data and then figuring out how to map that into Google Maps and posting that.
Oh, son of a monkey. I never paid TM his $25K last week.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't think it was him on the treasure map. He did the collections maps. But I if you're talking about the one that had the actual explorers like or treasure icons over, and then I was playing around with a little bit of that, which was super fun.
Hold on, I'm sending TM is 25 from last.
Wait, so while you're doing that, I want to know, since we got Recurrier in the audience, and I don't know if he's going to stay or not, what team are you going for, Recurrier? Are you sticking with the Cyborgs because you already have? And I mean, I know we're going to be talking a lot about Sparklet Wars tonight, but I am curious. As soon as it came out, I'm like, I wonder where, like, Recurrier. I'm definitely going to talk with Shaq after, see what that plan is. I'm curious for the specifically the Cyborg team that already have like invested in Cyborg infrastructure. Are you sticking with Cyborgs? Do you think you're going to branch out? I'm curious what the community and anyone else actually. What are you guys thinking? Again, I know we're going to be talking a lot about Sparklet Wars tonight. I would imagine that's really all I care about tonight. Is that Sparklet Wars announcement. I don't even know what else is happening in Upland at this point.
Yeah. All right.
One more subscriber for 1,000?
Yeah,
Let's
we're so slow.
Yo, what? Did we? Well, I think we already have all of our spots.
Yeah.
Lucid.
We did not reach
Oh,
out to Lucid.
missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I guess we have to do it again just so we can get Lucy.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of that. Honestly, there's so many people that have reached out, and so many people that we weren't able to get into the original 31.
Maui, we're looking at you.
That's a different story. We held a spot for Maui.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and King Cody, I do have your map assets. I just have to list them for you. Sorry. These interviews have been taking more time than I thought to award prizes. I was planning on doing a lot more prizes, but then it just is consuming. Yes. All right, let's get Mass Chef on here to talk some racing. What's going on?
What is up, gentlemen? How we doing?
Great.
Welcome back.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Yes, I had to take a week off because I was sick and in bed all weekend last weekend. It was brutal. But feeling much better now and ready to race because we've got racing coming up this weekend. It's going to be awesome. We are not racing in Ultimate Racing League this weekend because we have the Upland Racing Series Frost Season Finals going on tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And you'll want to check it out because we have a huge announcement that everybody is going to want to hear. We have X1 the Gamer going to be on with us tomorrow afternoon. So the announcement's coming from Upland. It's super cool. Anybody who owns carts is going to be ultra excited. So check it out. Definitely want to tune in tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Watch the Upland Racing Series Finals and check out all the good news.
Does it have to do with racing or overall Upland announcement?
So it has to do with racing.
Okay.
It is an overall Upland announcement about racing.
Okay.
But it's absolutely awesome. Everybody's going to love it. Can't wait to put the news out.
I was just hoping that it was G Week announcements because that's been dragging.
No, I'd be pissed if they announced if you're gonna come in on a show and announce G Week. It better be this show. It better be with the broadcasters of the year. You better be coming on here and announcing G Week if you're going to do that. I
1000% agree. I would probably refuse to let them do it on my show. So if that makes you feel any better.
But cards, you're the right place for it. You know what? I'm not going to lie and say I'll watch it because I'm not. But I will find somebody who did watch it and see what happened.
Yes, for sure. You'll because you'll want to know. It's cool.
I mean, that sounds cool. Cards. I love cards. As much as I have enjoyed and collect the cars, my carts collection is growing. I've won several auctions relating to carts. I love the potential there, and the UGC cards are unbelievable.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And especially with the Nerf on carts for this season, not being able to race and compete with them, it was kind of a downer for everybody. But I think that the announcement that's coming tomorrow is going to alleviate that downer syndrome that everybody's got because of it being nerfed this season. So definitely want to tune in for it. It's going to be awesome. But let's talk Upland, or let's talk Ultimate Racing League for just a moment, because we did have a race 2 weeks ago, and we had the first back-to-back winner of the season, because Akapropi took a race again in week number 6, back-to-back races. We were running short tracks for 2 weeks in a row there, and he is really good on those short tracks. And it's awesome because I totally called it before the race even started that he was going to win it, and he did. By God, came out right out and pumped out another win for a back-to-back win, moving him up another spot on the leaderboard, up into the 6th place position. Now Picasso takes over first place once again for the season with his 2nd place win, or 2nd place finish. So Hyde Park Ninjas looking really good at the top of the leaderboard with only a couple of weeks left to go. San Mahoney had 3rd place, trying to get back some of his form. They had lost a couple of weeks in a row there. So it's super tight still. We're still looking at only about 11 points separating the first 5 spots here. So it's still anybody's race. Now, I also wanted to mention that Matt Suter had a 4th place finish, trying to make a bounce back from his god-awful 11th place finish in week 5. So trying to make up some of that space again and get back up to the top of the leaderboard. The Ultimate Racing League released our new map asset trophies over the last week. So we were able to hand out trophies for the previous 6 seasons, or previous 5 seasons, to all of our winners. And the Mahoney team took home 9 of the trophies because they had 5 first place finishes and 4 second place finishes in the last 5 seasons. So if you go to the 5 Mile Creek neighborhood and check out their property there, you can see all of their trophies there. It's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, so that's where we're at with the Ultimate Racing League, and with Akapropi's 2nd win in a row. They've now gotten the Metaverse Racing team has picked up another 19 points on race number 6. So they moved up another spot in taking over the 3rd place position from the Castle Elite Racing team, who has been in that 3rd place position for about 14 weeks. So they are making some space up through there. Akapropi and JH both continue to have just awesome runs and very, very steady and consistent when they're racing. So they're making moves. We still got a lot of time here. 10 races left on this race to 1 million. So still plenty of time to catch up and get back up there. There's only 99 points now separating 1st from 3rd. So that can be caught up in pretty quickly. So we'll just have to wait and see how it continues. But the race of the week is the Upland Racing Series Frost Season Finals. And just looking at, this is the season-long leaderboard. This is the one that everybody's accumulating points on to get into the championship finals that happens during Genesis Week. And right now we see City Pigeon on top with 75 points, San Mahoney with 65, Cruiserito with 53, Crowley 27 up there, Matsuda, Wanderer, Risey, Akapropi, Metashbook, and Phalos rounding out the top 10 there. And again, it's going to be the top 12 on this leaderboard will go into the championship week at Genesis Week and run for the big prizes that'll be happening during that race. So cannot wait to see how this plays out. We've still got all of Blossom season and all of Genesis season to finish this up and get in there. So still a lot of racing left, but this is going to be really exciting. And this is our leaderboard for the frost season championship circuit and the recreational racing. And as you can see, we've crossed out some names on the recreational side because you can only place on one board and you can only win on one board. So the board that you place the highest on is the board that you race on. And so City Pigeon, Crowley, and Cruiserito get knocked off of that recreational board, kind of changing up the standings a little bit. So JR Wheels, my man, going to finish that recreational board in the first place spot. Foreskin in second, yours truly in third, Umar in fourth, Shelter Grip in fifth, Almost Human in sixth, Dave America seventh, Razzle Dazzle, new name up there in eighth, Vape High Guy in ninth, aka Nine Fingers, another veteran racer in 10th, Cuddy Bow in 11th, and Days Trader, another new name on the board, is going to finish up in the top 12, and those are going to be the 12 payouts in the recreational division. So all of those drivers will earn some upicks and a really cool Dragon block.
So is it over? Like these are final?
So the recreational side is final. The championship side is who is going to qualify for the finals tomorrow. So the top 12 racers on this board made the qualifying finals for tomorrow. So that's City Pigeon, Crowley 27, Bayho, Cruiserito, Sincere 87, Wander 1976, JH 2271, Akapropi, Funky Beats, Alejo, Spaztastic 83, and Matsuda are your 12 qualifiers for tomorrow's final races. So these are the ones that are going to be going into that final race and racing for the big prizes. And heat number one, the way this works out is you have the odd placed finishers on the board in one heat, the even placed finishers on the board in heat number two. So heat number one, we've got City Pigeon in that first place spot with Bayho, Sincere, JH 2271, Funky Beats, and Spaztastic. Spaztastic and Funky Beats and Sincere are all making their debuts in this race, in this series. So they are newcomers to the top of this leaderboard. So super happy to see the new racers and the new faces up on the boards, because that just means that more people are getting into racing, and that is absolutely what we're looking for every single time. Heat number two, we've got Crowley 27, Cruiserito, Wander 1976, Akapropi, Alejo, and Matsuda. Now, this is the board. Heat number two is a little more interesting because a lot of experience on this board. A lot of the professional drivers are on this board. Wander, Akapropi, Matsuda, Crowley, Cruiserito. Obviously, this guy's running for the Upland Garage. So this board to me has a little more appeal as far as the actual heat races are concerned. I think this is going to be a tough heat. Just because of the quality of driver that's in this heat. So I can't wait for the races tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. We definitely want everybody to come check it out. Now, let's talk about where we are, because we are on the Lusail track again. Now, Lusail is the track. We ran this track the very first frost season, which was actually I guess kind of a beta test for Upland Racing Series racing. And we did run this track during the last frost season. It is a monster track. It is 5.25 miles long. It's got 18 turns. It is easily, even with the fastest cars, a 6.5 minute race per race. So this track is a long track. It is a beast. There are some very technical sections, especially around turns 8 to 12. That is a very tricky section of the track. Going around turn number 8 can be very, very rewarding or very, very hurtful. It can go in either direction on that turn, especially if they go in there in a pack and they're bunched up together. Getting into that turn, we're going to see lots of wrecks right there for sure. 100%, because that's where they were the last time we were on this track, and I don't really expect things to be a whole lot different this time around.
What is a wreck like? But when you say a wreck, is that just like because there's no wrecks, right?
So there is, because what happens is if let's say for instance a driver is in lane number 5 trying to go around a turn, for some reason they get jammed into the turn where their car comes to a near standstill. Another car comes around in turn number 5 and runs into the back of that car. If they're in lane number 5 and runs into the back of that car, it actually creates a situation where both cars are taking up the same space, but neither car can go anywhere. So it actually is a wreck. It's the closest thing to a wreck that Upland has.
Is that intentional or just like?
Now I don't know, because I mean, me personally, I don't like the fact that 2 cars can take up the same space, because that does lead into issues where if you can be side by side on a straightaway, if one car has a very slight advantage over another car, you can turn into the car and cause a crash out like that as well, which I don't think is something that should be able to happen. So I think it's something that still needs to be worked on and kind of refined a little bit. I do like the idea of having the ability to crash. I just don't really like the mechanics of doing it at the moment. Let me put it that way.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So again, it's a work in progress. They're always making changes and making updates and trying to make things better. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens on the next update, because I'm sure there's one coming very soon. Matter of fact, I know for a fact that there's one coming very soon.
Well, there you go.
So everybody check us out, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow on the Metaverse Racing News Network YouTube channel. You'll definitely want to check out Racing for tomorrow. Like I said, X1 the Gamer is going to be on with us. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have fun races. Also, we will be back with our season finale of On the Track Live on Saturday. We're going to recap the finals a little bit. We're going to have just a fun racing night, just in general, not really for, since the season's already over. We're just going to go in, have fun, do some public racing, give away lots of prizes. We got lots of map assets to give away, some UPICs to give away on Saturday night. So come out and just have some fun with us, 9 p.m. Eastern time for On the Track Live with myself and Ant-Man and City Pigeon running that show. Just come out and have a good time with us. That's all. Going to be great.
Love it.
All right. And that's it. That's what we got for racing so far.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff, and everybody. Yeah, definitely check them out and check out the Saturday night show. That's
right. And I got to throw one more plug out there real quick. We only have 2 weeks left of the Ultimate Racing League stock car competition series. So we want to move into the Champion Series very, very quickly with a very short turnaround window of maybe a week or two before we start up that Championship Series racing. So right now we have sponsorships open. If anybody is interested in getting your name out there, getting your brand out there, joining us for racing, it's a lot of fun. And it's definitely worth what we charge for it, because we go all out to make sure that your brand is out there. So hit me up in DMs if you're interested in a sponsorship package. We have a few left for the Championship Series, and we're excited to get started.
All right. Thank you so much, Mass. We will talk soon.
You got it. And we will see you on the track.
There you go.
Wow.
Hey, look at that. I'm loving
it.
I'm digging these scene things now.
Smooth transition.
Yeah. So if anybody has StreamYard and streams, this new scenes thing's legit.
Yeah. You're trying to quit. That's fine.
Oh, it reminds me of those videos that are like, this is day 1 of me not drinking. This is day 2 of me not drinking. This is day 1 of me not drinking. This is me on the same day, starting again on day 1 not drinking.
Yeah. I've seen especially with like energy drinks, like day 1 of no energy drinks, 4 hours later, F this.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the fun stuff of season 2 of Sparklet Wars. Oh, really quick, they do have a St. Patty's Day sweetener sale. More Black Explorers that will go towards your collection score for the season. So, yeah, that's going on. Add to your season collector score. I tried to go all out last season and spent a lot, and I was like, nope, this is going to get too expensive. So I didn't even look this season. I was like, I'll pass.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry.
Real quick on the Spark Exchange, Sasha's working on it, man. I know it's been a painful journey. We recognize that he's actively working on it. I wish I had a better update than that. Oh man, actually the team did send me, I do have a new version of the Block Explorer Dojo. I haven't had a chance to actually test it myself, but they are integrated in with the APIs, so that project is getting closer. I will definitely have more playable content on that for you next week. I just didn't have time this week to get to it. Did the rewards for the original Wars staking and use been paid out? I don't know if we were going to do some drawings on it. Let me go look at that. We have all of the staking numbers. I don't know if we ended up giving out any extra bonuses on that, but yeah. Let me take that as an action item, Cernus. Elijah. What up? Join the Knights this season. All right, so we got back to the Sparklet Wars, which is the hot news of the day. I don't usually read, like I get, I watch all the little updates and I kind of like skim the headlines. This article I did read and I actually like sent it to Too Stupid and Dizzy, like in our group chat, like, oh my God, here it is.
I was surprised that you hit it. Like, I didn't even know it was released and you had it in a text like right away, like, oh my God, interesting.
Yeah, like I was very fascinated. You know what? Actually, I realized I never actually finished reading it though, because I was like, I didn't get to like the rewards. I assumed that the bottom part was the same. Looks like so they're doing the apartments, townhouse, and small. Oh wait, no, wait. Did they not? Will not be worth any season. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah. Well, where's the new ones?
They have
pictures of the new.
Yeah, they have pictures of the new. The points are
there's
still the same.
Part. Oh. All right, wait. There's way more. I stopped. You know what? I'll be honest. I stopped reading when it started to go back into like the spiel about each of the different factions. Because I was like, oh, okay. So this is just copy pasta from the last time.
Yeah. So the superstructures are 120,000 spark hours to complete with a maximum stake of 1,500 sparks. So it's still 3.4 days to complete.
All right, but let's talk about the big things. Like the things that caught my attention right off the bat was a net reduction in total passes from 200 to 175, which was interesting. And then the whitelist is kind of like a very interesting, happy surprise. It's the reason to me that it's more interesting is that it's a whitelist with less total badges than the first season. Now we don't. I don't know if anybody has the burn percentage, like how many were actually burned, because that'll be interesting because that'll tell you how many are whitelisted. So in theory, if you're whitelisted, 100% chance you get to buy a badge outright, which means that there's going to be very limited sales for people who didn't participate, which creates kind of a kind of a cool FOMO situation. A pass, not a badge. Pass. Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying.
Yeah.
Pass and badge to me, like the badge is like the pass to me is a badge. Like it looks like a, but yeah, pass.
Yeah. Now that's the interesting thing. It's not even that you just had, hold on. Yeah, you had to score on the leaderboard. It just wasn't you had to pass and burned it, So if you had to pass, burned it, and didn't place on the leaderboard with 1 point, you're not on the whitelist.
Which, I mean, I guess I see TM says he's one of those people. I don't know how many other people burned a pass and then didn't use it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that number either.
Now,
are you surprised that they made it more exclusive the second time around?
A little bit. I wonder if it's because, like, I think I kept one of each of the passes just for memorabilia, if I'm correct. So I think, like, people, now I got to check that, see my assets. I think that I would be curious if we know the number of people that actually burned. Well, I guess we saw the total faction numbers.
Yeah.
But they were less than 175. If I remember correctly. Because I thought that the Cyborgs had like 165. It's the same. I only have one of these sweaters. This is now it has been washed. But yeah, I only have one of these sweaters. Let's see, legit. So I'm curious. So for those of you in the audience that participated last season, A, are you planning to participate again? And then B, are you planning on staying with your faction or switching? So, I mean, those are the big questions. Because I am curious, like what the core cyborg coordinated effort, like y'all put in a lot of money. Yeah, I have 2 Purge Pirates, a Cyborg, and a Crypto Knights badge or pass left. Yes, STI. Knights forever, says Zarina. Yes, staying. So it does seem like, and that doesn't surprise me, right? It doesn't surprise me that people would want to stick with the faction that they started in, right? That's where you bought your packs for. That's where you kind of establish your alliances. It's not going to be possible for, say, all of the Cyborgs to switch to Knights or to switch to Pirates, because there will be a significant amount in each one of those factions that want to stay there, right? So you're not going to be able to have like a huge shift in like your group, and you're not going to want to, because again, you've already invested in all these assets. So being able to score high on the leaderboard or contribute to your team's overall win is going to be much easier if you stick with your faction.
Yeah. Now, that's the other thing, because the Cyborgs became the Cyborgs because that was just the majority of the passes that the group that came together ahead of time had, and the ones that didn't have it went and acquired it. Now, what if through this whitelist, say the majority of the Cyborgs get the Knights? Are they going to roll the Knights?
No, I think, because here's the thing. I know Elijah and the Real Note, and here he is, the Knights are a strong faction. I think that they're going to come in, whoa, geez, Blue, Hayden. So I think like the Knights, so when we're talking passes, yes, I think that the Pirates are 1000% going to be the underdogs per usual. They don't have a big central group kind of helping them. We've kind of seen 2 large factions with and I really see the Knights coming into their own this season. Like, I think if Elijah can continue to ramp up and convince, especially say some of the more active Pirates, maybe some of the disillusioned Cyborgs. Like, let's not forget, there was a bit of drama in the Cyborgs camp. No shade, but there might be some disillusioned Cyborgs that are looking to make a change. I think Knights are absolutely ripe to pick up some of those players. I think that they're ripe to pick up some active Pirates, and could have a really strong showing, if not this season, definitely going in to like Genesis week. Like, I think that we'll see them kind of continue to grow momentum. So the real question for me is, are the Cyborgs going to be able to stick together the way that they did in season 1 and be able to form an inclusive community that makes people really excited to stay with the Cyborgs, not just because they're a winning and strong team, but because they believe in the community as well? That's a big open question for me, because coming out of it, like, again, I know it wasn't the majority. It was this small minority of the Cyborgs who had grief. And so hopefully those elements will migrate to either Knights or Pirates, and we'll see a more cohesive showing from the Cyborgs. And will they continue their domination? So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know there. Now, what do you think about the real-time strategic events, the time strategic events that they're talking about?
I have to see how they're going to implement it without them doing a lot of in-game. Like, if it's in-game missions, here's their biggest miss is having to track things external to the app is, like, I don't want to say barbaric, but it's so outdated. Like, no other game does that. Like, if I played Hearthstone but had to log out and go to a separate website to see my stats or see how I was doing on my quests or whatever, it would be a non-starter. So if Upland is going to do real-time or strategic events, it needs to be in the app. I need to be able to track real-time progress. I need to see real-time leaderboards. It can't be the disjointed and slow to update leaderboards that they've been doing. Like, they really need to up their game in that area. Like, that's the truth of it, because for something as competitive as they want this to be, that's the expectation. Like,
you know, even when they did the race from Miami to Las Vegas, it was not updating in real time. And when you're having competitions like that, you absolutely need the real time updates, like you're saying, because that plays into the strategy, and that's what people need. You can't have it update inconsistently.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and that's going to be the thing that really tilt competitive players. So like, your casual players are probably okay with it, but like the people who are really, trying to get every point that they can, who are creeping up that leaderboard, who are spending hours and hours doing evaluations and strategic planning, they deserve that kind of real-time feedback on their strategic plays. I think like that's only reasonable. The other thing is that we saw last season is that third-party application development was very quick to start creating tools, but it also became kind of lopsided on, does your team have somebody who's making these apps?
Right.
And then they have an advantage over teams that don't have this information, or who they tilt the information to be easier to read for their team versus others. Like, there was some very strategic deployment of these assets publicly. So I don't like to see that. Like, I really believe if you're making a tool for the community, that it should be all inclusive. But the reality is, it's a competition. If you have somebody who can build that app and you get it for your team, the strategic side of me goes, that's an advantage for you guys. Like, there's no need to share it. Like, but it's a really hard balance, because I think that could put a very negative spotlight on you as a member of the community if you are just doing that. That's a very selfish play, but it's a tough one because it's war, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, after the war is done, you have to remember, you have to come back to this community. Like, the war is temporary, the community is forever. So whatever strategic plays you make over 2 weeks, you don't want that to affect your 2-year planning with these same people. So, I don't know.
They did say that the neighborhood-based bonuses or reductions, and it will be within limited time windows. So I'm very intrigued of how they're going to do that. If it's, point reduction here, or giving more points to the defensive or the offensive side, or, increasing the points scored for a limited time that would add to your bonus.
Yeah, it's going to be, if they do neighborhood specific things, and like, I thought it was interesting, the neighborhood that was bought by a single player isn't included, which seemed kind of odd. I don't know why they would do that.
I don't know how much extra ownership outside of that player.
But like, I don't know that matters. Like, there's neighborhoods that are, if you go to San Francisco, like, people own a lot of neighborhood stuff. I mean, it's not super common. I'm curious what the logic was there. If they feel like it would be an unfair advantage for that player.
Because if you own it, all of it, and you haven't sold any of it off, you can just put a bunch of stuff inside that's never going to be attacked by anybody.
Yeah, but that's how it all is. Like, there's plenty of people that own big chunks of land that are completely defended. I mean, I don't know. I could go either way on that. I thought it was an interesting call out. It's really the first time we've seen mention of player-owned neighborhoods having an impact at all on something like this. So I think that's why it stood out to me. It's kind of just like a very curious, like, asterisk of like, hey, by the way, this player's, neighborhood doesn't count. And maybe if there was a discussion that's like, hey, as long as once it's at least like 30% distributed among community members or something, then it becomes eligible. I feel like there might be like a balance there to be able to do, but I don't know. I don't see it as that huge of an advantage. That player would still have to buy all these things. Yeah, right? Like, I was going to spend a bunch of ETH to buy my own neighborhood, but now that I know I can't use it, I changed my mind. Like, I don't see any difference than that and just buying out a neighborhood like we did old school. Like, it's the same thing. I don't know. That's fine. I'm not super caught up on that.
Now the real question is, they really nerfed the season 1 carts.
Holy shnikes. They nerfed those carts to the ground. I could not believe that.
It's not like there were a whole bunch of them either. There were 25 each faction.
If I tell you what, if I was one of those players that spent a good chunk of money on those carts in season 1, I would be livid right now. Livid. Because the expectation is, like, that's what they were. That's why they were so valuable. That's why they were so few. Like, that is not how you do it, Upland. You can't do that kind of stuff. It creates a complete inconsistency in the whole concept of having NFTs with consistent value. You just bricked the value of those so hard. They were a little overpowered. I'm not going to argue with that. Make season 2 half as powerful, or honestly, rotate in and make the next cards defensive cards with 100%, or open it up to say, hey, it's still 100%, but defensive items work against it. Like, you can now use defensive items. Like, season 1, you couldn't use any defensive items. That was the big breaking point. Like, if I could put 4 chests and defend against a cart, no issue. Like, that's fair. It takes 4 times the resources, but I can still defend. But to nerf carts to 25% and then set a precedent that every like quarter they're going to get weaker and weaker. Oh, like, that's not good.
No.
Like, that's not what you want to see. The whole point of being first in an NFT is you have the best, most powerful things. Like, that is a core concept of NFTs. And now it's very hard to balance in games. I've stated that numerous times. Like, yeah, veterans of wars get stronger and stronger, not weaker. Well said, Kid Chow. Like, I don't like that move. And even though I hated carts, let's be very clear. The carts really made me sad in season 1 of Sparklet Wars. Like, getting one of my towers built and seeing a cart and knowing that I could do nothing about it was emotionally devastating. Like, it really just, it made me sick, and I really did not like that at all. The answer is to not brick carts. The answer is to balance carts by enabling defensive items to be against them or something else. I think this was a very rash move by Upland. I think, 75% nerf. That's insane. I don't like it. I don't like it. And if I was one of the people that paid hundreds, some of those cards are selling for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And now they're not worth crap. They're worth $15. Like, that's my, like, I don't know, maybe 20 because they're cool, but they're kind of weak now. Kind of weak sauce. Are they still undefendable? Did they say anything about that? Like, that was the big issue with them, is they couldn't be defended against.
Yeah, with the
seems like Upland will be making money above player satisfaction. I mean, most games do, let's be honest. Like, that's their job, is to make money, not make people happy. But yeah. Mine is still for sale. Well, unless it's $15, good luck. Sorry, mate. Yeah. They rugged you. Mint 1 even. Oh man! If only you had sold.
How much are you asking for, though? Too.
Yeah. How much are you trying to sell it for? Like, Mint 1 and what faction? Mint 1 Cyborgs would be worth $50 still, I would say, just because it's Cyborgs, just because it's Mint 1. No. Oh my God. Why would you pay $100? Do you know how many packs you can buy and get your own cart that's going to be twice as powerful? No, thanks.
It's still completely unaffected by offensive, defensive map assets, but yeah, reduces structure points by 50% unless it's a season 1, which is only 25. So yeah, not cool.
I think $50. $50. I know it's Mint 1, but honestly, if it wasn't Mint 1, it's $30. 25% is, I mean, we'll take a look, but the reality is, I would just, $200 is me buying packs on cooldown all season. So, I'm doing that over buying an old cart at this point. If the old carts were still 100%, yeah, you could probably get $150, $200. Cyborgs Mint 1, sure, but with this nerf, no, I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, and now, not financial advice. If somebody wants to pay $200 for it and you feel like it's worth it, and it's a piece of, I mean, it's the winning teams, Mint 1, super collectible. So, like, that has its own value proposition. Yeah, there you go. It's still very collectible. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, 100% still collectible. Maybe I'm being too harsh on the valuation. I still think $50. $50 for a cart. I mean, no carts are coming anywhere close to that value. Maybe you get 75 because it is Cyborgs and they did win. So it's, you could kind of leverage that angle. But I think at this stage, it's going to be hard to sell that to somebody with the new wars coming up, with carts that are going to be twice as powerful. Yeah.
Now, here's the question too. The spoils of the war, still 200,000 Sparklet airdrop, plus the badge for the top 3 in the faction, and then top 25 gets a block explorer. And they do have the mystery bonus reward. Are people going to be disappointed in what the mystery bonus reward is based off of they didn't change the incentive to win this war?
Well, they didn't change it, but they did reduce the number of people. So in theory, like, is the Nerf this year's April Fools? Now that's funny. Now that would be the long play, and that would be insane. It's definitely not, but yeah.
But that would piss people off if all of a sudden after the season, April Fools, it was just normal. And
100,000 UpX. Yeah, like I would pay right now 150,000. Like if Kasich, if you wanted to sell that mint one for UpX, I would pay 150,000. I'd give you 150,000 UpX for it right now, sold. Just because I do think it is collectible. But yeah, the carts for UpX. Yeah, I'll offer you 150,000 right now. I'll make the trade. I'll send you the UpX right now. It's yours. You say yes, I'll make it happen. But again, with the smaller participation pool, in theory, that does mean more rewards for the players. But given last season's, I think we'll actually have higher participation this season than last season. So an auction started? No, I'm not going in an auction. It's a single time. Yeah, take it now or leave it, or like there you go. Like I don't do that. I do real time. I got it right here. You put it up there. I'll find you. I'll make a trade and we'll do it. I'm not surprised that they didn't change the rewards. I think, they're still happy with that. But I don't know. It is going to be hard to convince people, but I think it's more the FOMO. I think people are participating because of the FOMO. Now we already have these factions are just being kind of cemented in the ideology of people. Like we see it even in our 31 to 31.
Yeah.
Like people are, they're ramped up about the factions they participated with. They've built a community of veteran players and new players. Like it's something that they're looking forward to together. So I think regardless of the actual prize pool, to some degree, that people are going to actively want to participate in these things each season. So
a lot of price gouging on the passes on the secondary market.
Oh, insane price. But it's going to be the price gouging is going to be insane because think about it. The day one people like who are whitelisted were active in the season, the first season. So they're not going to want to sell their pass. I mean, because and
it doesn't guarantee you're getting the pass that you want. So you might have to.
But that's where swapping is going to come in.
Yeah.
And what I expect is there's going to be a lot of swapping. There's going to be a lot of swapping plus of like, hey, I'll give you this plus, some UpX, this plus whatever.
And I think there'll be some straight swaps too, because you have a knight that got a pirate and a pirate that got a knight, and they're like, well, and it's just a swap. makes
I
everybody
would
happy.
say, yeah, the way I would say it is pirates and knights equal. If you get a knight and you want to, not pirates and knights, sorry, knights and cyborgs. If you get a knight and you want to be a cyborg, you get a cyborg, you want to be a knight, those should be straight swaps. Like, no one should even balk at that. That's an even trade all day long in my book. As much as it pains me to say, pirates are not the same. If you get a pirate pass, you are going to have to work to get the pass you want. Or you're going to just be a happy pirate and know that you can buy on cooldown way more and get way more stuff. But it's for the faction that no one's really, championing at this point. I do think that there comes a time where either new blood or splinters of the factions realize that they can get in at the pirates at a much lower price point, because I think like the supporting orchestra, like all the map assets and stuff like that will be a lot cheaper. And somebody who wanted to start making a name for themselves or for their community could really take lead on the pirates. And the thing is, there were some really good people in pirates. There was some good communication. It wasn't the same level at all, obviously, as knights or cyborgs, but it did exist loosely. So there's a chance that somebody could start making their name there and start building up. It'll take a couple seasons if they really wanted to make a go of it, but it's possible. But yeah, you're going to have to, no one's going to want a pirate there's a very small amount. Like if you get a knight or a cyborg and you want pirates, you essentially got pirates plus gold, because you can easily, and you should not do a direct swap. You could if you were a good person and you're just like, oh, cool. I got knights and I wanted pirates. I got cyborgs and I wanted pirates. Here you go. Cool. Good on you. You're a good person. If I got knights or cyborgs and I wanted pirates, I'd be like 100,000 UpX, and maybe not 100,000. I have when you have too much UpX in your that you don't spend, your numbers get off. So I don't know what that number is. If it's 10,000, if it's 30,000, 100,000 is probably not the right number. But you could probably do the pass plus some UpX. But yeah, the secondary market, 3,000. I mean, that seems low, but yeah, I would, I think that's going to be interesting. And then when they open it to the general market, those are going to get crazy. I think we're going to see, especially cyborgs. I think cyborgs on the secondary market are going to be nuts. I think it's going to be closely followed by knights. I don't think knights surpass the value of cyborgs yet. If they win, they do. If they put up a good showing, I think that they do. And then pirates will still be respectable. I don't think anybody's going to be selling under mint, or if it's a $7. How much are the passes? $7?
6, 7. Hold on. I'll scroll back up.
Yeah, I think 10K min
$5.
Is probably, yeah. So $5. I don't think anybody's going to be selling passes for less than 20,000 UpX. I think at this point, because here's the thing, here's the reality of it, is you aren't, and this is what I think, and not financial advice, but if you weren't in season 1, what you should take from this is that you want to be in the season, if for nothing else, then you get on the whitelist. That should be incentive enough if you're interested, especially in buying the assets. So again, not financial advice, but the reality is those assets are almost exclusively profitable. I don't know, and maybe, other people can speak to it. I didn't sell any of my assets, but as far as I could tell, those map assets were almost always going for a significant amount over mint. And especially if you end up getting a cart jackpot, you are going to make a lot more money. So to me, buying those tickets gets you into buying the assets. Those assets are really easy profit, not financial advice, and whitelist into the next season. So, and I'll be honest, I'm not going to participate in the fact that I'm not going to go to war, but because of the structure of this, I am going to buy a pass. I am going to definitely burn a pass, and I'm going to make sure I get at least 1 or 2 points, some points, just for decorating, not attacking, because I want to get those packs, and I want to be on the whitelist in the future in case they change the mechanics to something that I'm more aligned with. So, like,
those are valid points.
And to me, it's the easiest route for me to profit. Like, if I look at what are profitable actions in this game, war is profitable. I don't agree with it. I think it has a potential of tearing apart the community, just like any war, but war is profitable. So there is going to be money to be made. If you are strategic, not financial advice, thank you. To me, this is way better than buying properties, way better than buying block explorers, way better than any of that stuff. If all I'm looking to do is buy and flip, this is the avenue. Wars is where it's at. So, yeah, again, not financial advice. I personally did not flip any, but from the numbers I saw and the prices I know people were paying, prices I know I paid for my pirate assets, there's money to be made.
And what I did like is they didn't make major sweeping changes. I know the nerf of the carts is huge, and that's the biggest thing, but it wasn't major changes. They're tweaking things. They're watching what happens. They're tweaking it, and this is season 2 of it. It will be interesting to watch this as this evolves.
I don't think that's what you meant to say. There we go. Block there. Okay, that's better. Jeez.
Wow.
Like Serena.
Yeah.
Woo. Girl, you scared me.
Not that type of show.
No, and don't get me wrong, I love my block explorers. I think that there are some great block explorers to buy. I think it's a longer term play. I think in the short term, the most profitable thing in this game right now is relating to Sparklet Wars. It is buying those packs. It is getting those assets. It is selling those assets. Like, and again, I'm sure that there's other lines that get you, reasonable returns and stuff like that. For me, I just think I saw the money. I see the money. You can't argue with it. Like, and I know that Upland is, they're happy with how that monetization. I mean, look at their other like map assets for each season. They haven't sold out. Like, it takes so long for these things to sell out. The Sparklet Wars on cooldown, we're just chunk. Like the Cyborgs sold out in 3 cycles? Like, if you were buying on cooldown, I think you got 3 cycles of cooldown. Think of almost any other sale. Like almost any other sale that Upland does, you can sit there and buy. You would run out of money or patience before there ran out of things to buy. Not this. This is like you have to be on and buying on cooldown. And so like it's a different beast altogether. This whitelist is a game changer to me. I love it. It rewards the people who participated in season 1, gives them a guaranteed chance to participate in season 2. Like, guaranteed. They might not get the faction that they want right out the gate, so they're going to have to do a little bit of finagling, but absolutely love that. I just wish we could buy some more items with UpX. Yeah. I hear you. You're not wrong. You can. It's called secondary sales. You absolutely can buy with UpX. You can go to the the shops that sell them for UpX. But
Jesus.
this is Randy's killing me. I can't even.
Wow.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It just derailed everything.
Yeah. I'm just glad we got her interview before she got canceled. That's all.
That's true. That is true. At least she can defend herself.
All right. So yeah, I don't know.
All right. You seem a little more excited.
I am excited in the sense of I like the whitelist. I am amped. I guess not excited isn't the word. I'm engaged. I'm engaged with the content.
Okay.
I will say that. Like I'm not like, ooh, I can't wait to participate, but I am engaged. Like you have my attention. I am watching this. This is something that is of interest to me. I'm very much watching how the community responds. I'm very happy and I want to support, whoever, takes over leadership of the Cyborgs. I'm interested to follow that story. I'm very interested in, pushing for the Knights to have more success. Like I'm here to support Real Node and whatever, however they want to go with the Knights. And don't get me wrong, there was more factions because I know Cheese was Knights. So I know that there was other people inside the Knights besides. I'm just saying that because they were posting earlier in the show about recruiting for the Knights. So there's already a strong group of community members in that pool. I haven't heard from Cheese if she's staying with the Knights, if her and her crew are staying with the Knights, or if they're migrating. So like there's a lot of interesting community stories to follow. There's a lot there. So I am engaged. I'm not excited. I'm not really going to participate. So again, I am going to buy a pass. I am going to join a team. I am going to buy the loot boxes on cooldown. I'm eating butter beer goldfish at the moment. That sounds kind of gross. I'm not going to lie, but probably good. I would like it if during wars, players could collect treasure pieces to construct war assets. That's fascinating. Like do treasure hunts in the city. Like, oh,
I see where you're going.
Oh, yeah. Now that would be compelling.
And the factions can put them together to build the superstructures.
Or just faction specific treasure hunting. Like, because then that could give, and like rewarding points, because then that could give teams, like, I know that there were some hunters on pirates. Like, yeah, for sure. Like, and then you don't have to have a bunch of money or a bunch of structures. Like, oh, like that would be a really creative way. I also love the idea of like Sparklet War races. So imagine that they held exclusive races with the cards. Maybe that's what they're announcing tomorrow.
Ooh.
What if they announce? No, well, that wouldn't be to the whole.
No, because you said everybody like it, and there's only going to be 75 cards. So
yeah. But I mean, it could still be kart racing, and maybe you get a bonus if you race with your faction's kart. Kart racetracks tomorrow. You mean like kart specific racetracks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Where they're smaller and like better, more interesting, and not these like massive things. I could see that. Again, I'm engaged. I'm not super excited. I'm not like railing against it. I think it is a reasonable evolution. They've changed some mechanics. The cart nerf, I'm not upset about it because I didn't spend a bunch of money on carts. I do have a cart that I got out of my pack. Don't love that it's nerfed, but also doesn't really impact me. So pitch me on your faction. I'm a free agent. No one wants you.
Oh, that went wrong for you there, Vulgar.
Yeah. Now what? Now what? No one wants you. Sell your pass. Enjoy being a free agent. Anyway. So are you think you're going to stick with the Cyborgs?
Yeah. I mean,
Real Node says Real Node will take you. There you go. Real Node apparently has no standards and will just take anybody. You heard it here first. So
I mean,
welcome.
You know, I'll stay, and I'm not going to be the biggest participant just because we're still in the middle of the 31 for 31, which takes a lot of time. And
Yeah.
So I will participate a little, but I won't. I mean, I wasn't super active last one either, and I'm trying to remember myself if I actually did put points on the board or not. So I'll find out Sunday if I'm whitelisted or not. I can't remember.
Did you decorate at all? Did you buy any of the assets and decorate?
I did buy assets. I think I decorated, so I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
yeah.
Well, we'll find out Sunday.
So completely unrelated to any of this, but I bring it up because I think it's going to turn into an NFT game. I recently, and I'm curious if anybody in the audience has heard of The Bazaar. It was actually, it was started by a Twitch streamer named Reynard and his company Tempo. It's a card game that it's like a lot of Hearthstone players. If you're a Hearthstone player, then this would definitely be in your wheelhouse. It's called The Bazaar, but I believe if I saw the rumors correctly, like there's a bunch of like skins and digital collectibles that I think they're going to be converting to NFTs. If that's true, it could be a very exciting opportunity in the gaming space and NFTs. Just as a heads up, look at that. Look, oh, I like it, Robin, with the pirate spiel. You're tired, you're poor, you're huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. Oh, welcome at the Pirates. Love it. There you go. Yes. Another faction's trash is another faction's treasure. There you go. You had Matt Chef confirmed. You had points.
Awesome.
So congrats.
Awesome. It will be fun. It will be exciting. You have anything else before we get out of here? No. Casket, hit me up on Discord. I'm gonna message you in game. I want the card now. You got me excited about the card. Wait, what was his name? Hold on. What? Just had it. Anyway, all right, yeah. No, I don't have anything else. I'm gonna go message him. I go scroll up and find his there it is. Kaskimar. I'm gonna hit you up in game. Which I gotta say, I don't know if you use the in-game chat. I'm using a lot more, and it is actually really helpful. So shout out to that. That's a good one. Yeah. Takes all the booty. All right. So don't forget to tune in. If you haven't been watching 31 Uplanders in 31 days, go check that series out. We're almost halfway through. A lot of great interviews out there. A lot of great interviews to come. It will be interesting to see how Sparklet Wars round 2 or season 2 happens and how it plays out. See how hopefully there's not a lot of drama. There's going to be drama. Who are we kidding?
What are you talking about? All I want is drama. That's the best part of this whole thing. It's like Real Housewives of Cyborgs. Like, let's go. I want to know all the juicy deeds.
Yeah. All right.
I just got here's anything about updates on Spark Tycoon. Stosh is still working on getting specifically the withdrawals. He has to go back through all the logs manually to make sure that there's no miscalculations. We will see a live demo. The team over at GAT Studio did send me a new version of the battle game that I just have not had a chance to test myself before going live. The battle game is tied to Vibes. So with that will come functionality to Vibes TM that uses that system. So I got to see where the state of that is, but they're approaching. There's like 4 major milestones for this project, and they're at milestone number 2. So big things coming for sure. So definitely catch next week. I will demo whatever we have. I will demo something for sure. Like good, bad, or ugly. I will do gameplay next week for sure. So there you go. Of course. Hey, that's what we're here for. All right. Now I'm done. Quick, before anybody else asks any good questions.
It's been a long week. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Everybody be safe. Have fun. See you tomorrow around 31 Uplanders in 31 days.
The Upland Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host who's stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the Metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland Property Experts, baby, UPX.